It went to the wrong one.
That's GM's elbow cam. Hi, and oh, there we are. Sorry, I'm always looking over here. This is like a work with people. Welcome to Zealots of Zul. Our week 18 episode is titled Pillars of Wisdom. A title inspired in some ways by the biography of Lawrence T.D. Lawrence of Arabia. We're going to take a quick break in just a second, but before I do, just want to remind we have all of our zealots here tonight.
Not too happy.
Thank you very much for tuning in with us, and if you, as previously mentioned last week, just a quick reminder, we want to encourage you to participate on your end of things by helping the zealots get experience points. We've implemented a kind of what I hope is a cool trope and convention to enable you to sort of push events along. This is the first of many. We're going to also institute some other things which let you move events along a little bit, but we're working on mechanics and everything. But for right now, you can help the zealots achieve levels by giving them experience points on a one-on-one level for every bit that you contribute to them that will go to experience. Last week, the zealots, having arrived the previous week in the Quranian imperial fort of Fort Zayed, they discovered that Kepri's sister, the Lady Ozira of Kemet, has been kidnapped, and they launched a rescue mission last week, traveling deeper into the Urg, or the Howling Waste as it's known to people in the Valley of Caliph, in an attempt to find her. And traveling through the waste, they eventually encountered tribesmen from the Kuranaji, fierce horsemen and camel riders who maintained the old ancient ways. They're related to the imperial Quranians who dwell in cities and have the largest empire, ruled by the Padishah, whose many titles include King of Kings of Zul. So it's a really powerful state. And Fort Zayed is like is sort of the elbow, speaking of elbows, of the empire. And it was there that Kepri and the Zealots were supposed to meet Kepri's sister earlier. But that was preempted by her kidnapping by, as yet, persons unknown. At the end of last week, they came upon a group of tribesmen from the Kuranaji who led them to an oasis where, when last they met, they had encountered an individual who was identified to them as the chieftain of all the Kuranaji of the Urg. So
wait, the murderous plants.
Oh, sorry, right. Okay. And along the way, they came across an oasis. Well, they came across a rather strange lake that had twisted vegetation throughout. And as our good friend Daryl Yarbrough reminded, don't mess with the vampire cactuses, is what he said, messaged me this week when he watched the episode. Did I tell you that? I don't know if I told you, but yeah. So,
Does he know?
Alex. Well, we're going to take a short break before we go. So
I'd like to be able to know when it happens.
Very good point. The characters got to a lake with a rather eerie, unpleasant atmosphere to it. There was no animals, and there was no the lack of animals and any life gave them a reason to believe that something was amiss here, and they did encounter these cannibalistic cacti, which attacked them, caused some damage, and actually prior to that, Anupam had taken a drink from the lake, which later led to fever and fever dreams involving what could theoretically be translated as being surrounded by Rakshasas and some other sort of hideous serpent-type creature before he came out of it. And later, they brought him and encountered the Kuranaji of the Urg. So that's where we left when they met the chieftain of the Kuranaji. So we're going to take a very short break and come back to introduce the Zealots for this week, and we'll pick up. Thanks very much for staying with us. I'm Cliff Dunn. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to Zealots of Zul. I'm Cliff Dunn. Time to introduce you to our players and cast, starting with anybody's choice. There we go.
Okay. I think this is the first time you started with me. Hi, I'm Anna. I play Sabine. I'm a bard. I'm very cranky right now. I don't like the desert. I'm probably also a spy, and nobody knows my last name. Something we realized last time. And it's probably going to stay that way unless there's a reason that they should know any more about me than they need to.
I don't know if the desert's a precursor to crankiness.
It is.
Well, she's already a little cranky, I think, but yeah, the desert's definitely gets
Remember,
worse.
correlation doesn't mean causation. It just happens to make you cranky. Hi, I'm Kyle. I'm playing Kepri, the Heemish Ranger, who is desperate to see his sister safely, also slightly cranky now. He was having a nice time before, but frankly, he's feeling very attacked right now.
This is leading us to our death.
We're not dead yet.
Sides.
Right, you're being led to it. You're not.
Yeah, when you think about it, we're all being led to our deaths. Some just take a little longer than others.
We'll tell you when you're dead. You just
Some
play
are
the
being
game.
led, some are willingly going. I mean, you know.
And hopefully we can get through this with minimal casualties and one plus one sister.
Minimal would be 0 casualties.
You've got a +1 sister. I've got a +3 sister.
Oh, wow! Where'd you find your +3 sister?
I have a -4 sister.
Sister.
I don't have a sister.
Of horror.
Exactly. Hi, I'm Alex. I play Anupam Duor, who is the Gudwaran monk of the group. He is currently waking up from this long fever dream he was having, where he was doing nothing but fighting Rakshasas, evidently. I don't know. We haven't really gone into detail about it.
They could have been Naga.
They could have been Nagas. That's very true. It's a very good point. But you know what? All I know is that they weren't good. That's all I know. We're not good. And I'm currently waking up to find that we are someplace where I do not know where the hell we are, surrounded by people who I do not know as well. So we're going to see how that goes.
Hello, I'm Mike. I play Atlas, son of Rathig, the uncrowned Prince of Thieves of Badashar. And I'm very unhappy to be out in the desert, just to let you know.
Because you're a cat.
As should you be.
You know, could have fooled me, but all right.
Not happy in the current situation we're in.
I'm Scott, I play Arslan. I'm also not happy about being in the desert, chasing some sister across the sands with a ranger that
I'm okay with that.
seems to marginally know the desert, but maybe he knows it better than marginally.
Excuse me. We waited through fine the first time,
All right.
mostly fine the second
I'll
time.
rephrase it. He knows the desert well enough. He can't keep us from getting sick from our marginal understanding of the desert.
I'm doing my best.
Yes.
I am juggling as many flaming plate chainsaws as I can.
But on the other hand, I see fiscal opportunities in all this.
Of course you do.
Right, and that's true because the original motivation and impetus for the caravan, which is an embassy coming from Kina to Radishar, was to bring various exotic trade things with an idea to enriching
Reaching all parties
all
involved.
parties involved. And just as a quick, I didn't mention this last week, but some of the camels were captured along with your sister, and some were taken and rescued, and made their way back to Fort Zayed. And when you guys were going through later on, as you kind of were taking in inventory, I'm sure at some point, Kepper, you must have looked to check and see what goods had been brought from Kima, and they included dates, gold, papyrus, linen, grain, ivory, pearls and skins, pelts, mostly captured in Zambala and the Jungle Kingdoms, and silk.
Yay, so,
What is considered a worse offense, taking camels or taking family members in the desert?
I'm still family members. Still.
Depends on the family member, I think.
I have heard
The camel.
talked
And the
about,
camel.
depending on which cousin you get rid of, you are either rewarded or put to death.
And so, having been brought to the well, actually the pool of Faritza, which was the name of the place, Kepri, you know that. The chieftain of the Kuranaji, and we did this last week, but just to sort of bring us up to date from where we were. The chieftain of the Kuranaji stepped out of this large, well-proportioned tent, and he was tall with wearing a dark keffiyeh, a dark turban, and he had a long silver white beard. Actually, silver beard with shot through with black and some white, but mostly silver. And he introduced himself as Sharif Muli Namshuri Er Jabani the Magnificent, Lord of the Erg, Commander of the Devoted, True Shield of the Four Prophets, Sultan of the Jaban Kuranaji. You are welcome for now.
Sabine curtsies deeply.
Thank you, kind Sharif. We appreciate your hospitality. Our envoys have been nothing but kind.
Kepri, make a history roll.
I can do that.
I've woken up at this point, right? I've woken up at this point, right?
Oh yeah. You're a little woozy, but yes, you are conscious. Actually, not a history roll. Make a religion.
I can do that as well.
Do I notice that Edipom has woken up?
Yes.
15.
I start to move over to where he is to keep him from freaking out and jumping up and trying to kill people.
Well, I mean, to be fair, nobody's freaking out and killing right now, so.
Right, it's true, but
When you're riding
just
on
in
a
case.
camel, all you have time to think of is names. Important names. Do I learn anything from this role?
Not that you were aware of.
My mind is elsewhere, of course.
Does his accent sound off from the rest of the people, or is it normal for everyone? They all sound like that.
Oh, Scotsman.
Let's not do that again.
We would inquire why. Did you by chance come upon a caravan not more than a day or two ago? I only ask because we are searching for our companions.
Sheikh, have we encountered such a caravan within the last 2 weeks? And the man that brought you to the sort of chieftain that brought you here, that had escorted you here with his tribesmen, bows and he says, "That is not so,
I see.
great Sultan."
I see. Well, I'm pretty sure they. Can I do an intuition and look around, see if I see any Keemish silks around or anything like that, just to make sure that.
Yeah.
See if they're.
It's more of a perception.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I was actually gonna say, can I insight the second guy? I forgot what the name of it is when he said that he hasn't. The sheep.
Yeah. You may.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
I haven't told.
He does not appear to be.
Lying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
His name was Mukrin, by the way, the Sheikh of the Erfasari. What were you going for? Sorry, Captain.
Just evidence of anything being taken. I don't think there is.
You do not, in fact, see anything that has any kind of Keemish provenance. You see a lot of things that are clearly Quranian,
Of course.
but and probably things with provenance of the Valley of Khalifa and
Yeah.
probably places that you don't recognize.
If there were any Keemish goods, they
But you
probably
don't
stand out.
recognize it. Yeah, correct. And certainly nothing new that would have been approaching the. We will discuss this further, but first, the Jabani has business to attend to here. And you see, I mentioned that there are probably about 100 tribesmen about. So some of them, now they're all kind of on their feet because he's out and about. But they were generally huddled around fires and camp areas, tents. And he, getting the lay of the land, it's a very rich oasis with large palm trees, a very inviting, cool water source. And as he heads over in the direction of a cluster of palm trees, and you see that there's a large group of Kuranaji warriors, these fierce warriors wearing their keffiyehs, and they're standing around 4 men who are on the ground. They're standing in a semicircle around them. And he strides across to them, and they're like, on the ground. You can't necessarily understand what they're saying. I mean, you can pick up snatches of it, but they're clearly begging for their lives. Yeah.
Body language.
Right. These 4 men have dishonored me. They have eaten from my date palms. They have drunk water from my wells. They have done these things to me, and they have not even invoked my name to the 4 prophets in thankfulness.
We're in this type of place.
Yes.
I'm saying this out of character, by the way. I'm saying this out of character. Calm down.
You should know that the moment our feet hit the sand.
Oh, yeah.
It is not I who determine the outcome of these events. It is the will of the 4 prophets. And with that, you see, he pulls out his scimitar, and he goes, thunk! And one guy's head goes lopping off, and then he goes, thunk!
Oh, no.
And another guy's head goes lopping off. And,
Just don't be rude. This is a very honor-based.
what's everybody's
The man is
reaction?
decapitating people.
I have
Oh,
no
shit.
reaction.
How do I get out of here?
Capri's trying to not figure it out. He has an idea of what's going on. He's just trying to figure out how to keep his companions from saying the wrong thing and inserting a scimitar into their foot.
I would like to roll insight as to whether he believes that he does this stuff in the name of the 4 prophets, or if he is making use of the 4 prophets.
Do it.
Actually, I'd like to do the same if that's alright.
Sure, why not?
Oh, it's even better than before. 23. Yeah, 23.
17.
He is a man of great and profound conviction.
He actually okay, that's even scarier.
And then the other 2 guys come crawling over to him, and you have never seen two people that are like so happy. They are kissing his boots, and they're like, extremely happy.
Groveling.
Yeah, groveling.
To the
and
extreme.
yeah.
This is next
And
level groveling.
he looks at you and he smiles. I killed two of them so that now I can trust the other two. A barbarian would have killed them all.
You are clearly no barbarian, Your Grace. I thank the prophets that we've met you.
You are lovely, my dear, but the Jabani has no need for such womanish titles. I am but the Jabani. I am but a will of the four prophets. I am Sharif, as a descendant of Namshuri, the first prophet.
Understood, Jabani.
I keep hearing him mention the four prophets. Do I know anything? Do I know anything of them? I know we talked about the other thing.
I mean, make a religion roll. I mean, everybody can make a religion roll. Just
10.
11.
19.
Which makes the most sense.
20.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
Yeah. Okay. So, those of you that roll over 15 know that the Four Prophets is both a philosophy and kind of a religion. It's sort of intertwined with the Quranians' religion, but the Quranian religion has more mainstream elements in it, like Baal and Ishtar. The Four Prophets are more of a tribal religion, a code of conduct. There's a lot of different. There's a lot of different versions depending on who you're talking to. You're not necessarily overly familiar with, but you know that it's an ancient faith. It goes back to the time. It predates. It goes back to the time of the Giant King.
Would it be sort of safe to assume that for a lot of it, it was the precursor to the modern Quranian religion, but before it, for lack of a better term, went mainstream?
Yeah, that might be a good way of looking at it. Right.
I went mainstream.
They sold out.
They did.
Well, they started living in cities
not
and that was
these
the end of
ones.
it.
No, these ones did. These guys are
Stayed
hardcore.
loyal.
The
Yeah.
Imperial Quranians, they sold out.
They sold out.
Big time.
Staying in one place, building cities.
Mm-hmm.
Come, you shall take salt and tell me what your business is.
We thank you. We are weary. Our journey has been much. We will furnish you with as much as we know. Please allow me to introduce myself. I am Ibn al-Capri of the Kingdom of Kemet. My companions will speak for themselves. Nudge.
I am actively trying not to say anything.
Tell him your name or else he will.
My name is Anupam Dewar. That's all I say.
You don't want to say the wrong thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Arslan Abdurrahmi from Vadashar. Thank you for taking us in for a little while.
I am Atlas of Vadashar. Thank you for your hospitality.
I am Sabine Hadass. I am half Vadasharan, half Kuranaji, as you can tell by my appearance, my lord. My mother was from Vadashar, and unfortunately my father died before I was born. I know very little of this great culture, and indeed, any man here of a certain age could in fact be my father. Wait, not that he died, he left before I was born, sorry.
Right.
Died before I
She
was
doesn't
born.
screw that up, I screw that up. She's got her story down.
Mommy died before I was conceived.
Right?
That's one of her truths.
My father died before he was
Right.
born. And I vow deeply.
Rise, girl, we will all eat lamb in paradise. You have a very exotic look, one that is both familiar to me and unfamiliar at the same time.
I'm sure that is my blood, my lord. The Vadasharan no doubt would be unfamiliar. Famous sense.
Well then, you are welcome here in our camp, in the camp of the Kuranaji.
Thank you, my lord.
The Sheikh Mukrim tells me that you are looking for your sister.
I am. My companions and I, had made it to Port Said after crossing the earth. We sought to meet up with her and her caravan and make our way back to the Valley of Giri, to Vadashar proper. But news was given when my sister's retainer, Benito, returned with but a small force. Some misfortune had fallen upon them in the form of brigands, and we set out on first light to seek her and any other survivors we could. You say you have not encountered any caravan?
None of the Kuranaji, none of the tribes, none of the stirps of the Kuranaji have encountered any caravans from outside. We have, of course, raided those of the satrap and the Kuranians of Dipatana.
Indeed, this would not be not that you and your capable men would make such a mistake, but this is a caravan of the Kimish. We, as you know, do not venture far from home. This would be a most unusual sight indeed.
I have not seen your like in lo these many years. You see how the man draws water from the well? When one bucket empties, the other fills. It is so with the world. At present, the satrap in Dipatana is full of power, but he is spilling the water wastefully, and the devoted are lapping it up as the drops spill from the Quranian's bucket.
Wise man indeed. I can see that you are a learned man of the faith.
Sheikh. Yes, Sharif, he asks Sheikh Mukrin. And Sheikh Mukrin was the one that you had met earlier. Actually, were you unconscious?
I was unconscious.
You were unconscious, right. That's right. He was the one that had inspected earlier last week, just as a reminder for those that are tuning in or that didn't catch it. After a combat that they had in the desert with
The plants.
the plants, with the cacti, right? Yes, right.
The vampire guy.
Dangerous combat with plants.
That story may change with the telling.
Yeah.
But the bloodthirsty, violent brigands. Arslan got the worst of it, and he was unconscious for a brief period. But when the Kuranaji under Sheikh Mukrin encountered them, he tended to the injured. In fact, I think you were one of the ones that was sort of a little out of sorts too. That were
Yeah,
noticing.
me
Yeah,
too.
they made him a litter.
Drink
Make
the
a
water.
perception roll.
19.
Okay, and you notice that you catch Sheikh Mukrin giving you a curious glance. Or just
Yeah, he did have an interest in you last time when we first saw him.
Can I use sleight of hand to give a signal?
Go ahead, make a sleight of hand roll. I mean, it's an interesting idea.
24.
Okay.
Pretty good. I mean, it's casual. No one would notice it.
Right.
Unless they really were noticing it.
All of a sudden,
except for me.
you notice Arslan suddenly going.
He has the dancing sickness. He has the dancing sickness. We must drown him immediately before it catches.
Right.
Why is he telling me to steal second base?
None of you see that.
Watch that come on the water.
Okay, so you give a little signal or something, and
Nobody notices.
nobody notices. This is it's mostly for
Actually
for
not
people
yet.
watching at home.
Yeah, actually not looking at you at all. I'm looking at the
I
violent
succeeded by
men
sleight of hand.
with the knives and swords, yes.
I'm looking at the man with the swords.
Yes.
am very actively trying not to make eye contact with anybody in the room right now.
No, we're outdoors.
Oh, well, I thought we went in.
You went into his tent.
Oh, okay,
You
that's
went
what
into
I'm
his tent
saying,
to accept salt and hospitality.
That's what I thought. Okay.
We must partake of the salt, and then we will have the guests right. That is what we need right now, and once that has happened, we can relax a little.
We need to go as soon as possible.
Why?
You do not want to leave as soon as possible. That is a very good, it can be considered an insult.
As soon as it's not suspiciously,
I wish to know more
Well,
information.
no suspicion, everyone knows.
What is wrong, my friend? Are you nervous of some sort?
I
Says this random tribesman.
am just still feeling out of sorts from my fever.
Come, sit. Have a drink with us.
I prefer to stand, thank you.
Will you have some tea?
No, thank you. I will. I appreciate it though.
Oh,
I appreciate
You'd be
the offer,
wonderful.
but thank you.
And one of the tribesmen pours tea, and you notice that they were all sort of playing. They were playing on. This is just on the outskirts of the tent, and they were playing some sort of knuckle bones game, and everybody make a perception roll.
I was gonna just kind of look around and see if there's anything of value inside his tent.
Natural 20.
Okay. Well, you haven't gotten into the
22.
tent yet. This is on the way in. You're
Dirty
gonna-
20.
You're giving your tea.
22.
9.
Okay. You're making sure he's okay.
I am.
26.
Everybody else notices that there's a tongue amongst all the baubles and little trinkets. There's a human tongue.
That's nasty.
Well,
Still bloody?
what happens when people say stuff you don't like?
Perhaps the previous owner had nothing pleasant to say. And they give you your tea and enjoy. You will like this. This will make you feel better. You are looking a little green, my
Right.
brown friend.
Thank you so much.
He is very ill. Please excuse him if he is at any point seems inhospitable. He has drunk from the waters of Phantasm, was it? He is lucky to be alive.
Pool of Phantasms, I think is what it was called.
And then they all talk about that and they say, "You are lucky to be alive, my friend. Congratulations for surviving that, the horrors of that. All of the Kuranaji, well, maybe not all," and then they laugh. No, not to drink of the purple dreams.
Well, now he knows as well.
He has grown stronger through experience.
Indeed.
And you go inside.
That'd actually be pretty good to
I'm
get
gonna
like the
smell
skin of that
tea.
stuff and use it for.
Like,
100%.
okay.
Yeah, the cactus is
I
If
know.
they wish to kill us, they
Well,
will
no,
use it.
but you can
I-
use
I-
it.
Fair enough.
You can use that as a.
Push myself between Kepri and Anupam and put my arm around Anupam and try to kind of guide him down into a seated position with the chairs, or the cushions.
Mm.
You are going to offend them if you are not behaving in a hospitable manner, and you're going to get us all killed.
This is the only reason I have a smile on my face right now.
Smile harder.
Kevin, do you know how to get back to the lake? Because I did want to stop on our way back.
I do know the route we took. If you so wish to go back to that
Well,
that godforsaken
I
place.
just thought I'd need to get maybe a skin of some hot water. Some interesting experiments.
In my youth, I did not heed the will of the four prophets. I was headstrong. I was full of my own counsel. I would listen to none of the wisdom of the elders. There were no greater warriors than Mule of the Erg. I was fierce, and the forces of the satrap knew my name and feared me. And it was 30 years ago, while I was still in my youth, that the Kranians captured me and imprisoned me in the Amygdala fortress deep inside Dipatana.
How very awful, my lord.
It was awful. For lesser men. The Jabani was held in chains for 10 years, fed gruel, and told by the forces, the torturers of the satrap, to renounce the four prophets and to turn traitor on my people.
Surely a lesser man would have cracked by now, but you do not seem to be a lesser man.
Indeed, it is so. It is kind of you to say.
I speak of no kindness, only truth.
It was in the amygdala that I earned the respect of my jailers and the devotion of my fellow prisoners. And it was both of these that helped me in my escape to the Erg. When I returned to my people, the Jabani clan, I found them straining under the yoke of Yagun, who had neither honor nor respect for the ancient ways. And in due time I challenged him for leadership of the steppes, and after defeating him, as victorious Sharif, descendant of the first prophet, Namshur, I was proclaimed the true shield of the four prophets and Sultan of the Kuranaji. This is the will of the four prophets. It is not I who determine the outcome of such events. And they bring lamb and feed you. How are you? How was everybody for hit points last week?
Well, I mean, I had a long rest technically, so I'm full up now.
I'm missing a few, just from the vampire cactuses.
I stayed away.
Okay.
I'm down
Weren't
too.
some of us healed? Like,
Actually, with the sleep, I'm probably all right now.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say, like,
Yeah,
I had a
sure.
Yeah, I've been pushing them at midnight oil a little bit. I'm still a little.
Everybody make an insight roll. Just tell me what you roll. You're just not having a good night.
I'm not. I'm really not.
Well,
yeah.
you're the dreams and whatever, so your
Yeah.
perception of things is a little off.
Yeah, that's not
That's
cool.
understandable.
You're better than me, you're in my party.
15.
A natural 20.
Natural 20.
14.
I'm too
Focused on
Focused
the
on the
tea
lamb.
and to see if anybody has a sister.
I'm not sure he's thinking that right now.
I'm thinking good food after that. What was that?
Hyena man. You know,
Yeah.
it's nice.
Maybe lamb is a euphemism for hyena man.
Right. Well, this thing had been killed. I don't know how to do this. I guess they were both they were very fresh. You like your food fresh. Who rolled a 20? You rolled a 20? Rolled a 20. You notice that in addition to in addition to his bluff manner, the Jabani also has an underlying sadness, and perhaps something deeper also.
Giovanni, I cannot, I once again thank you on behalf of myself and my companions for taking us in and break lamb and salt. We are grateful, as well as, in truth, giving what you know of, however little it is, of the whereabouts of my sister. Your tale is quite intriguing, but if you'll forgive me, and I do not mean to offend in the slightest, seems to be a hint of melancholy in your voice towards the end. I cannot put my place it. Is there some more to this tale? Or is it something?
And the Sheikh Mukrin says, "Let us have entertainment. Let us have laughter and entertainment." And so there's musicians start playing. I don't know, do you?
Well, if musicians are playing and no one's dancing, yes.
Okay.
I was waiting for the dancing girls to come in.
Bring the dancing.
I stand up. Great Giovanni, if I may.
Everybody make a perception roll.
Dirty 20.
Too busy focusing him.
But I'm listening to you, Sabina. This is just going on at the same time.
12.
Okay.
Great Giovanni, if I may.
24.
If I may dance for you. Perhaps that would lighten your mood.
And the little Sheikh says, "Do it!"
Okay, she does it.
And everybody's perception. You got the sense that Kepri had perhaps inadvertently stumbled.
We didn't need to make perception.
Yeah, you know, because you saw him tripping on his tongue and getting tangled in it. And no, you were not tongue-tied. You were very sincere.
Right.
But you got.
I know, I touched on a sword, so.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
But it's good. But it's a brave man that does that, surrounded as you are by clearly cutthroat murderers.
Of course, if I cannot be a brave man, then I'm a
I
bad
like
man.
that. I admire you.
Is it fast music or slow music?
Let's see. A little faster.
Sabine makes sure to focus her attentions on, the leader, but also on a couple of but also on a couple of
Sharif.
the sheiks, and
And there are, there's probably about 36 people in here altogether that have come in, some of them are guards, but some of the others are,
But particular attention on the Sultan and movements being very, sensual but not necessarily seductive, kind of playing to his mood.
Right.
So.
You don't get any, you don't get a particularly lascivious vibe off of him, he seems like a traditionalist guy,
Right. So she's doing more traditional.
Right, although his men are clearly,
conservative.
they are very, and they're a little bit more rowdy than he is, but that's not necessarily shocking to you either, people have to, and a good leader makes allowances for his people, especially in a moment of celebration. But yeah, so you all kind of get the sense that, he doesn't want to be necessarily engaged with this topic. What are you doing, Atlas?
Taking in the scenery. And I was looking to see if there was anything of value.
People are
in this
applauding
stage.
you, and there's,
Just kind of looking around, just seeing if there's anybody really watching us.
yes,
Hard.
all of them are.
All seem to enjoy themselves.
Excellent. They're enjoying themselves too, but they're definitely
They happen to
watching.
notice you counting the value of the stuff that you see.
Well, the one guy you got, you're like looking at his bracelet, you're looking at the on his necklace. Sorry, I just admiring the work.
Around my tapestry.
What kind of song is that?
And and I should mention that there's not a lot of riches in here. It's a practical place. He's not an ostentatious person. Even his robe, he's not dressed like a king. He's dressed like a tribal warrior.
Very practical, utilitarian, God-fearing man.
Right. Yeah.
Also from a land with no money.
Yeah, kind of hard to get that in the desert. Not super hard. Steal it.
Right.
That's a neither here nor there.
Oh, there are the four prophets. There could be some holy relic or something that they got stashed in the place. Sure.
Yeah, don't steal that.
Well, they're brigands. They are brigands. They make their living by raiding the
And they
caravans
probably
or
know other brigands pretty well. And thieves.
And everybody make kind of a history roll. Just, it's
Natural 20.
okay.
Too busy dancing. I
So
have a 7.
I too have the natural 20.
you would have
I
heard
rolled 19.
that we might have even covered this, that the fort was constructed as a way of extracting tolls from caravans and merchants, but it had the added benefit of screwing the tribesmen who needed the oasis for their own, whatever. So
Cuts them off.
so they have to pay for it along with it. So it has only encouraged a certain competitiveness on the part of the Kuranachi for the Quranians, with no end in sight. What are you doing, Arslan?
That person who looked over us.
Sheikh Mukrin?
Sheikh Mukrin. I'm going to keep an eye on him casually, not like staring him down, but just keeping an eye. And kind of looking around at the tribe, at how they operate as much as I can, trying to understand if there's, because I'm worried about escape. I want us to be able to have a good opportunity to escape if we have to escape.
Yeah, that you're here at their mercy at this point, so regardless of the
And they're not
hospitality.
particularly merciful.
Right. Although,
Are you kidding?
Although two of the
spared
people,
two guys.
He spared two guys.
Two guys.
Yeah.
That's
So
pretty
50%
much.
A barbarian would have
Which is
slain all three.
Except for the two that weren't spared.
Right. And you make a perception roll. at +2.
23.
Okay, and you notice that Mukrin is actually looking at you also and not making, I mean, he's not staring at you, but he looks at you and he has a clay pipe that he's, kind of a native looking clay pipe, that he's smoking some sort of strong, foul smelling tobacco product made from dung and who knows what else. And he's smiling at you through his dark, he has a dark pointed beard that's shot through, whereas the Jabani, the Sultan, has a silver beard shot through with black. He has a black beard shot through with silver, and he's just clearly a tiny guy. So,
If I can, during when the food comes, I'd like to give a false signal, just to see if I'm. This is those moments when you wish you had like a private conversation.
well, they won't know anything else.
To test it. I have a gut feeling that this perhaps.
Yeah, sure.
And I'd like to test the negative of it.
So you want to see if your assumption is wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'd like to see if I get the signal that corrects it, or the signal that says they've learned something but don't know enough. Like they're not really.
Well, what are you trying? So then, what exactly? Tell me what
Well,
you're
we have signals that
But what are
we
you trying
can
to
use
do?
to also check if someone is false. They've only learned a little bit about how to.
Oh,
do
I see. Oh,
signal.
you're trying to see if he's.
Use signals.
well,
whether it's
he-
someone who does or doesn't.
Well, you don't know if he's. I mean,
I don't.
he hasn't given you any
Right.
response whatsoever.
And the signals are subtle enough that it would not look like something unless they do. In which case, it's meaningless anyway.
So how do
Watch, it'll be funny if he's blind.
Um,
I'm not really staring
to
at
make water,
He's looking this direction.
or just to step outside.
She has to step outside.
Hey, I'll wait. I'm gonna wait for a while.
Probably outside.
And I'll just keep an eye on it and see
Use the
if
excuse that
a
you
signal
make
comes
to
or
make.
not. If
They
not,
will probably give you an escort.
Who will outpost Mansur the Ferocious?
What was that?
He said, "Who will outboast Mansur the Ferocious?"
You see this?
Oh, please, I am but a
You're very
humble.
boastful.
This very tall,
You're the Viper.
powerful-looking tribesman walks by. He's dressed like a tribesman, and he looks like he's been out in the Erg for a while.
So he lives, bro, is what I'm hearing?
Yeah, he lives, bro.
I, Ibn al-Kapuri, of the ancient sorcerer sands of Kemet, and known as the Viper to all my dead foes whose cause I have sent to the afterlife, shall boast against thee.
And everybody laughs, and there's applause, and people kind of move around and take their places, and
That was impressively boastful.
I am but a humble man.
blessed and idyllic were the days when the fathers of Jabani and we, the warriors of the devoted, traveled unfettered from water to water. Curse the Quranians, down the satrap! My grandsire, Gazmel of devoted memory, son of Kadim the Slayer, was called Afa, the Anaconda. So great was his manhood, he could pluck the virtue of a maid from a village 3 miles distant. I, Mansur the Ferocious, his grandson, can say with complete truth and even more complete humility that when called upon, I can exceed my blessed grandsire by a distance of 2 miles and a length of 3 inches.
Very difficult to get around.
Wow. What did we sign him up for?
Oh boy.
Boasting
Something
competition.
that's right up his alley.
And he bows to you.
I, Ibn al-Kapri, son of Nofra Khan, whose lineage traces back to the distant times of the giant kings. While my lineage may not be able to boast such length, there are few to none under the moons of the Zul that can match my lineage's ability to spread our seed far and wide like the sands of the Urg. My family boasts of sons and daughters as far along the river Apophis as there are grains of sand in the Urg. There are few who can match it, and I assure you, I have traveled the breadth and length of the trade caravans, and many a hatchling has come from my loins.
The Viper!
That's why the poison is.
Like Nandius the warrior, the third prophet, untold are the numbers of my defeated enemies. Kutaiban the relentless, Manu the vile, Abbas the murderer, Masud the nun. These and many, many more have gone on to their reward. But none was fearsome or dangerous or desired the blood of the devoted than Nadine the wolf, scourge of the Jabani, the most murderous man in the Urg. He stood 2 heads taller even than Jabani, may his name be praised. And he had the strength of 5 men. And yet from the back of my camel I took his head with a single mighty stroke of my war mallet, and at the same time introduced to the Jabani the sport of polo.
Well, I may not be able to have said to have invented a game of great sport. When I was but a young lad of 5, I left into the Urg, headstrong and free-willed, but against my father's better wishes. For days I wandered, with naught but the air to breathe and drink. Exhausted and deep into the Urg, my skin all but taken from me by the cruel sands, I came upon a serpent so large, so fearsome, it would make the moon itself quiver. This creature came upon me in a flash, and despite my state, I was able to tear it scale by scale, until naught but a wretched bloody corpse. Instead, the beast came for me. And as I ran along the spine of this creature for miles to reach its head, its eyes as big as the mountains, filled with hate for all who dwell on Zul, I took my Kopesh, and with a moonsickle strike, cleaved it in two, and its fangs shrank as its venom came out to leave nothing but a twisted, wasted, acid land. And I wade through that to return home to much joying and rejoicing. That, though I may not boast of the deaths of many human warriors, I, as a true son of Kemet, and as Lord Apophis, as my witness, this is as true as the day is hot and the night is cold.
And truly, my friend, you smell as if you have waded through many a monster in your day. And they laugh, and he comes over and gives you a water skin, claps you on the back.
Purple drink is going to be wonderful for you.
Right. The purple drink. No, it's clean. And
I knew you were boastful.
Everything I have said thus far is true. And 100%.
Of course.
See, this is the pull out the little fang.
Now I know why you're called the Viper.
Because of my quick wits and ability to kill people quickly?
No, for killing the giant Viper.
Yes, that's true. That is also completely true. That is not a name that was made up on the spot. It is all true.
you hear next to you, a voice saying, your friend stirred up inadvertently a sadness within the Sultan.
I apologize for he speaks his mind when he has a thought, and I hope that we did not offend the Sultan.
There was no offense, I am certain. The Sultan is a wise man and a great man who will not be reminded of things that he is at this moment unable to control. And it is Mukran that you are talking to, by the way.
Okay. I'll continue watching for any signals, if any come. Is there anything we can do to... We're very concerned about Kepri's sister, and we don't want to lose the trail for very long.
Yes.
Perhaps there's something we can do to gain the assistance of your tribe, and the Sultan would offer us assistance if there was something we could do for him.
Jabani the Magnificent has already spoken to me of such things, and in the morning I have been commanded to take you to see the Mazdari. Do you know who that is? Have you been...
I don't.
Don't think so.
They may have your friend's sister. The Mazdari.
Oh, no, yeah.
The despised. They may have your friend's sister. Had you heard that?
No, yeah.
Okay.
I know that one.
They're an enemy of the Sultan.
They are the outcasts, the criminal scum who have committed crimes against the Koronaji and have been cast out. They are not to be trusted, but it is possible they have her, and they'll be willing to trade for her if you have items to trade for. Unless you wish to wade your way into battle, but I do not think you have the numbers to defeat them should they have her. But they may be able to think on it.
We'll have to discuss this evening to figure out what we can do as far as pulling together some value.
The night is young, and I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep. Which is... So and he smiles, and he walks off. We're going to take a short break for a couple of commercials, and then come back. Stay with us on Zealots of Zul. And we're back. Thanks very much for sticking with us through the break. What happened?
Nothing. Clandestine whisperings.
Yes. We're plotting the DM's demise.
Before the break, take a number. Before the break, Kepri had engaged in a friendly boasting contest with one of the Koronagi within the tent, and also Arslan had a sort of extemporaneous conversation with one of the sheikhs of the Koronagi. What do you guys do?
So Sabine, when she is dancing about, is also kind of paying attention.
Right.
Can I roll perception to see if I'm noticing their interaction at all?
Sure.
I mean, I won't know what it means, but dirty 20.
Okay. Yeah, and you see Arslan is chatting with that same chieftain that had gone over to see him the previous week. Or the night before. Our previous week, the Zealous previous night.
Mm-hmm.
Time is fluid and convoluted.
Interesting.
Wibbly wobbly timey-wimey.
Where did he go? Where did he go to when we left our conversation?
Mukran?
Mukri.
I don't know. Did he leave the conversation?
Oh, I don't know. I thought he left.
I think he did because you said that he had the long night was long and he had things to
What else to
attend
do before he sleeps?
Yes.
Oh, right. Well, no, he wasn't leaving. He was just saying,
I have a
okay.
question. Would
That was
there
just a
be?
sign for you.
right.
I know many sultans would not accept future remuneration for assistance, but I do from time to time come across wares of value that I don't have with me in the desert, since it's such a dangerous place to be carrying wares. Would there be, do you think there'd be any opportunity to perhaps make a trade for something in the future?
It is possible. Erjabani the Magnificent lost something of great value. Perhaps that may be something that would be noteworthy for you and certainly of value to him. His granddaughter was kidnapped.
By these same people?
We do not know. The Ermazdari denied it, and they had, although they have, most of them have reason to lie. Those who I have occasional dealing with have greater reason to tell me the truth. There is a tribe, perhaps, that dwells far within the earth.
Obviously, we're not far enough in.
Mr. Sandwich shoes morning.
His shoes already full of sand.
No more erg. No more erg.
It builds character.
I will take
Let's
the
go
herb over
further
staying
in.
I have plenty of character already, thank you. Built enough. I want
This
to
is
go
the
home.
character building.
It's a trust exercise.
Yeah.
One second, just let me free.
Sabine doesn't trust you as in.
This is why we are doing the trust exercise.
She's
Sabine
not gonna
trusts.
trust
Sabine
you
is some-
more.
I'm just gonna catch you, right?
This is a conversation you're having
Whoops,
with
slipped
them.
into the
Sitting
quicksand.
in the ring, but close.
But we're not,
But close.
not everybody's involved in the conversation.
No,
Sabine is dancing.
you're probably close enough to hear a little if you tried, maybe. You haven't really made any.
I'm boasting
I can read lips.
I'm boasting about drinking the river of Apophis for a day and a half.
Would the Sultan be offended by us knowing? If we were to bring it up,
No,
it would. We would be willing to.
But he would be offended by the suggestion, by a promise made without sincerity or made lightly.
I understand that. We saw that earlier.
Just gonna eavesdrop on the conversation, but I can see them talking, I can understand what you're saying.
Kepri's sister is very important to him. And
To you and to Alice. For various reasons.
And it is quite possible that it would be an even trade, us acquiring one while you acquire another.
The Kuronaji are very superstitious, and many believe we dwell here on the outskirts, but far deeper within the earth are terrible sandstorms, fierce sandstorms that can shear skin from the bone. They are called the breath of Ramal, the god of the sands. The Kuronaji believe that the god dwells beneath the sands, and that the fierce winds are his breath. It is why the Sultan's headstrong daughter was able to be kidnapped. It is not a source of shame and rage for him, particularly that the tribesmen who are otherwise unequal warriors are afraid to enter for fear of the breath of Eramal.
How many days travel is it from here to that area?
It will be a day. It will be a day from here to where the Ermazdari are. First, we must ascertain whether they are the ones that stole her. It may have been him, but we will experience the breath of Eramal when we come to them. I will lead you there. If they are not, if this girl is not with the Ermazdari, the people of the Fox, you must go. If you would find her, you will have to journey on by yourselves.
Understood. We do have someone who is skilled in the deserts. Kepri is very capable in the sands.
And you remember that name, Fox. Earthly Blue.
Yeah.
Yep, right here. In our writing note.
How do you and your tribe fare out here?
The Kuronaji fare as the four prophets intend us. We fare well. Our herds of camels are strong, and when the forces of the satrap are lax and inattentive, which is often the case, we prosper, even more so. One day we will take Fort Zayed, and then the oasis shall return to the Kuronaji. That day is not here yet, but we can only hope. As you know, I am not. The ways of the Kuronaji I was not born with the ways of the Kuronaji, they came to me.
I'm the same, as you know. I'll speak with my companions this evening. We have time alone. Thank you.
He nods and withdraws.
I'd like to, is Manetho there? I'd like to speak to him for a moment. If I can, after I finish boasting of building the largest spires in Kemet with my bare hands, of course.
You find him, you get a quiet moment.
You probably know.
I heard Manetho.
Are you as uncomfortable amongst these savages as I am, Mr. Kepri?
I have learned to hide it rather well. They do have their primitive charm. Something I've come to not enjoy per se, but respect. These are, as I'm sure you have, I wish these are not the men who have taken her. Do not appear to be.
I do not believe so either.
I assumed as much, but I would figure that you would have the better eye for it.
They will take us to find her.
Perhaps. They, for all their savagery, they are, and have an honor of a sort. If we can strike a deal, I have no doubt they will be useful in our endeavor. I have no doubt that my companions are also working to turn this situation to our advantage.
My life is forfeit in exchange for Lady Ozira's, Master.
You need not sell your life so dearly. We will see if we can return it. And it's better to live and make atonement than once the car has flown, it cannot come back, as you are well aware. So let us see if we can make amends while we still walk the earth as Lady Bast and Lord Apophis command.
I think we should get up and go around the roof or whatever to go speak with Kepri.
Sabine is drumming a fan club.
Is what?
Drumming up a fan club.
Oh.
Not literally drumming, just
Oh.
shaking a tail feather.
Sorry.
What do you know
To create a popular
of the deep
effect.
desert, the area that they believe the gods
If
breath tears the skin off?
They are right to fear it. It is a cursed place. Whereas here I was able to have some jovial fun at your unfortunate expenses. There it will be as serious as can be.
From a serious perspective, would you be willing? I don't even
Yes.
know why I need to ask. We would need to convince others that going into that cursed place
Others
could
as
bring
in-
us the opportunity to save your sister.
Others as in our companions,
Of course.
or the Kuranaji.
Our companions first. The Kuranaji can be the Sultan will accept this offer. The value is equally high as the value you place on your sister.
What does he? I take it you've gleaned something from your conversations with him.
He is missing a family member also that has been taken into the deep desert there, into the breath of
Ramal.
Ramal by the fox.
I have a
And his own people will not venture there.
Desert dwellers that won't go into the deep
I have a plan. As you have no doubt noticed, the Kuranaji do enjoy their theatrics, as by our gracious hosts offer of mercy to the two men seated yonder. If we can convince our companions, leave the convincing of the Kuranaji to me. I will, as you said, I am
I don't think this is the place to boast towards the Sultan. It's too serious of a matter for him.
Oh, this is no boast, my dear companion. You will see what I have planned. But we must convince the others. I can lead us. I can lead us through the erg, and if you say they will assist us, we can be able to
They
convince
will
them.
not assist us into there.
Not
to the edge.
To the edge. That
That is as far as they'll go.
that is
Their
fine.
men are afraid of entering the breath.
Yes, while they are a superstitious lot, they do have cause to fear. But it is not an insurmountable task.
You can lead us through in a way that
I will lead us all.
we will maintain our flesh.
I will lead us in a way that you maintain most of your flesh. The important parts. Do not worry. A joke. I will do. I set out on this trip to ensure that we would all survive, and that is what I intend to do for as
But I
much.
still worry for all of the people here that are not desert dwellers, going into a place that the desert dwellers find too dangerous.
To an extent, it is dangerous. The other is part of their mysticism. They believe that the demon sleeps in the sands. Perhaps that is true, but it is a sleeping demon. We will not wake it. We will find what we need, and perhaps secure our allies for the future.
You've been through that part?
Once.
But you haven't been that deep.
Not that deep, like literally like edge here, skirt right around. Like skirt into it a little bit. Just enough to get a whiff of Irthribo's breath, so to speak. So a camel gets stripped to bone once.
You're really not selling the place.
I can
Well, I'm not. I'm not.
survival skills after this.
So, do you wish? You obviously have the better tongue for them than to me. Do you wish to try and convince our companions of this, or
There's no convincing, there's only asking with them.
very well?
Ask Anapom, then there's convincing.
Okay. I will speak with Anapon. You speak with Sabine.
Damn it. You don't understand. We speak with Anapom, Anapom speaks with Sabine. It's a process.
Very well. We will speak with Anapon, and then Anapon will speak with Sabine.
Who convinces the convincer?
The story only gets better. 2 maidens to rescue. God shine upon me.
I have a feeling that we will not have to work hard to convince Anapon. Not as hard. A little harder.
Perhaps we should just all speak tonight, and then in the morning, speak with the Sultan.
Yes.
Or in the evening, later.
Perhaps.
Time is of the essence.
I have a grand gesture that I could make that I believe will secure our aid of our companions, and if we should survive this, not our companions, of our hosts, and should we survive this, no doubt will aid us in time to come. If you trust me enough to.
I do. I trust you.
Very well. I'm glad one of us does.
Let's finish this celebration and get into our own conversations. We need to make haste.
Celebration.
I do.
For some of us, maybe.
I do have the question. You said it is his daughter that was taken?
Yeah. It was his daughter.
Granddaughter.
Granddaughter.
And
That's what you saw on his face.
the Mazzadori do not. Did they say with your conversation with him? You said do they have him? Or have her?
Apparently the fox took her into the deep desert where his men will not go.
So it is known that the fox is the one who took him.
No. Fox didn't take his granddaughter.
Okay.
Oh, it wasn't a fox.
No, the granddaughter was taken by
Somebody, not.
somebody, but
They
not by
don't
her.
know. They don't know.
who took her,
They don't know who took her, and they believe it's one of the Mazzadori.
Right, Mazzari. Or
I'll relay it that way.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to confirm before I
They
do
don't
my.
know for sure.
The Mastari might have a Zira. Right?
But they don't. But the Air Mazdari denied taking her. Denied. Honey, they say they don't have her.
I must think carefully. My bit of theatrics will, if it goes wrong, will cost me most of all.
You are not expendable here.
I am not.
Because if you go, the rest of us will not survive back.
We can just simply join the Koronagi.
Yeah, that's Sabine's plan.
The rest of us cannot survive the way back.
That's Sabine's plan.
Yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah.
That's why she's got her own fan club going
Right.
on, right?
Yeah, she's making backup plans here.
She's ready to settle. That's awesome.
See a few more pillows.
The camel hair tent is really in season. I love this color of yellow. Okay. And Let us go.
Ahmed the Slayer has a really nice tent, you know. It needs a little work. I think I'm gonna turn it.
Fix her up.
Needs a woman's touch.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As does Ahmed.
It's like, what are we trying to do with all this
Tom.
beige?
That's Tom.
Beige on beige. I think we need to liven it up a little bit.
A little ochre.
Eggshell
Right.
white.
Eggshell white.
Eggshell
Off
white
white.
ochre.
Oxblood everywhere. Literally.
Literally.
So, let us. I intend to, if it will secure the aid of the Kuranaji in finding,
Save that until there's no other option.
I will think on it. Is not something it is something that I am willing to do, but not something I wish to do. I will put it in that. If the opportunity strikes right, we will use it. But let us speak to our companions on the subject. I will go speak to Brother Hanapon.
I'll go back to my seat.
You do that. Not vigorously. Go ahead. How are you enjoying yourself, Brother Hanapon?
I'm not.
Oh, you're not?
You understand
No, you are.
correct?
Yes, I am enjoying myself
No,
very,
Z
very much.
understands.
Allow me to. Let me ask you this: how would you like to
He has
leave?
no choice.
I'm in.
Very well. Good. It's not you I need to convince. Sabine, it's your turn to convince her. We're going to go be doing something even more dangerous, but slightly safer. And Kepler leaves.
No, he doesn't. Sit. Okay, you offered me the chance to leave here. That's the only reason I jumped on it. Now tell me details.
Oh, but you've already taken the offer. Does it matter, the details?
Yes, it does. If I'm going to convince Sabine, it most definitely matters.
Okay, I need you to convince her that we need to go deeper into the waste.
Deeper.
Yes, into the part where the Kuranaji fear.
You want us to go into the part of the desert that the desert dwellers won't go into?
Yes. But you're not desert dwellers. You don't need to have nothing to fear from there.
There are so many things wrong with that right now. I'm just not going to get into it. Okay, so
Listen, we have discovered
Sage Box is bad.
we have discovered that the Sheik's daughter, granddaughter, and that wine from the boasting has made me a little. Don't worry about it. Anyways, has been taken. This I share the Sultan's sadness. However, this is a perfect opportunity to not only leave their kind embrace, retrieve what we came for, and gather allies for the future, if this goes great. However, the one caveat is that
I think Kemper's gonna owe us a few shipments of silk after this.
Oh, yeah. More than a few. It may be a permanent supply rolling in at all times.
It is believed that perhaps the Kuranaji's, the Mazdori have the granddaughter and perhaps even Ozira. So they do not stick to the normal safe parts of the earth.
Upgrades coming to the small.
there are safe parts of the earth.
Yes. Notice how we did only encountered
I can't wait to get in there.
one pack of hyena men, and one cursed well.
We need to really work on your definition of safe, but continue.
We've already discussed this. You could die from a pot falling on your head in about a shot. Safe is relative.
Or beheaded.
Of course. Anyways, that's what we need to do. And I need you, as a dear favor to your dear friend, to convince our other dear friend, Sabine, of the righteousness of our cause.
Capri, I'm going to say this to you.
Did you tell Capri how much it was gonna cost him?
The entire reason I
We haven't had
even
a conversation
agreed
yet.
to come out to this desert
Was to get away from your problems, which you have gotten away from into new problems. Notice that you have not thought of your problems before.
Actually, I was going to say that the only reason I came out here was to help you find your sister.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yes, indeed. And if it takes us to this more unsafe part of the desert in order to go get her, then you
That's
have
slightly safer.
well,
Enhanced training, I think.
then you have me there. I will be at your back, and I will help you get her back.
That is good to know. I very much appreciate that. And I'm sure my sister does as well.
However, you want me to convince Sabine, who is already this close to just traversing the desert by herself just to leave here.
Or going native.
Or going native.
Yes. I mean, you want me to try and convince her?
No.
Good luck.
Fine, I'll go talk to her.
Very well. I must, I'm going to see if our son has managed to convince her. I go
mean, the
I
mention
get
of
up-
another woman
I get up
might
and
actually
leave.
do it.
quick before you can renege on his promise.
Sabina's dancing right now, so no one's convincing her of anything.
Yeah. I will wait until you are
You two
finished.
together?
Yeah.
Are you in? Wait.
So how many shipments of silk is this?
So much you could drape every ancestor you have all the way back to the dawn of the giant kings.
Or a few nights with your sister.
I will leave you in the
Can't
desert to
even
die.
ask
I will leave you to the desert to die.
All right.
The bad part of the desert.
The Kuranaji tribesman Mansour the Ferocious approaches and says, Jabani the Magnificent has commanded that a tent be set aside for your needs so that you may rest. Will you come?
Yes.
We will come.
Certainly.
Please thank El Jabani the Magnificent of his hospitality once more on our behalf.
Come with me. And he takes you to a tent. Well constructed, again, not particularly ostentatious inside, but well served. You've got furs, carpets, skins to use for blankets, and there's food in there also.
All right. Good night's sleep.
And Sabina's with them, the frivolity is over then?
Yes.
Okay.
No one can look her in the eye.
Make a perception.
Yeah, what is going on with that?
Nobody
though?
except Anupam can look you in the eye right now.
There's no need to make a roll.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, I just think it's
Nice.
necessary.
You're our spy master. You can totally see
Yeah,
shit's
it's
going on.
People are sort of
So
looking away,
obvious,
looking
yeah.
at their shoes.
Uh-huh.
Arslan must have got a new pair of shoes because he's looking right down at them. You know?
I will be right back. I need to go see the camels.
I need to
I'm watching
I
the
need to take
theater.
a
I have to see a Kuranaji about it.
Why are you all bizarre, more bizarre than usual?
The wine, of course. Faster.
We have a way to potentially get Capri's sister back.
Okay.
It is well worth our while to do because we'll also make allies with this tribe.
The Kuranaji.
You hear a noise. It doesn't sound like a camel though. It sounds like a.
One moment. Well, actually, I need to relieve myself quickly anyway. I'll go out. And what was out there?
You see, it looks like they're butchering some sort of ox or the like.
Would that happen to be our ox?
No. your ox is gored. It is not your ox.
Oh, good.
Good to know.
That's important. I would hate for Anupam to have to pull it. No.
You see that it's a group of
Look at my strength. I ain't pulling
Kuranaji, and
It's not about the strength. It's about the will.
It's not that
Mukrin appears to be. They're a distance off. There's pens and there's they keep their camels in one place. They keep and it's in a distance, not the distance, but it's about 100 yards away. You see, Mukrin seems to be, since he's a ranking person amongst them, he seems to be organizing it. Well, not organizing it. Somebody else knows how to slaughter or whatever they're slaughtering.
He's there.
He's there.
So what is this that Arslan was talking about, and why is it that your plans get more and more convoluted? First, we were coming out here to save Ozira. Now
I'm just
We're
gonna lay down
making
and rest and
allies?
watch the entertainment.
I'm
Okay.
saving Ozira.
I'll be honest, I have no interest whatsoever in making allies with most of anybody that is in this camp. However, if we are going to continue on and do what we came out here originally to do, then this looks like it's the only way to do it.
What looks like it's the only way to do it.
We have to go deeper into the Urg.
No.
Well, I tried. No, I'm kidding.
We challenge David Duchovny.
Pretty much.
Please save me, Spooky Mulder.
I was thinking more like Californication.
Oh, yeah, that too. So, at this point, we're already this deep into the Urg.
Yes, we are as deep as I not only am willing to go, but far deeper than I was ever willing to go.
Fair enough. But if you can steel yourself for just a little bit further.
Why?
Well, it's either stay with the natives or come with us.
I don't see a question here. I can be reasonably comfortable this far into the desert,
Yeah, I was going to say, if anything, you're just giving her more of a reason to stay.
or I can go deeper into the desert and be more uncomfortable and eventually die. Or people I don't know.
You're a storyteller. This is material for you to.
People don't want my stories. They want mythic stories. They want folk tales. They don't care if I manage to barely survive a desert with most of my fingers intact.
Think of the stories you could tell.
No. I just said it's not. They don't want my stories. They want me to be able to continue to play my zills because I still have my hands. I didn't lose them to frostbite or have the skin ripped from them by the wind. Plus, I really don't fancy the idea of dying. Frankly, I don't see what in the world I possibly have to gain from all of this. Or why I would do this at all.
Well, we would gain the favor of the locals.
I have other ways to gain the favor of the locals.
That's fair. I don't suppose I can make an appeal to your sense of right.
No, I don't have one of those.
And stay with the locals. I will not try and convince you. I asked you here, and you have done more than your service. I appreciate it. You're free to stay here. And there's not a thing I can say. I would hope that in the time we have been together that you would come to trust me as others such as Anna Palm and Uslin have. I do not. However, this is a dear thing and a very important...
Trust?
Hey, you're out here, aren't you?
Well,
This is an important thing. This is an important thing to me, endeavor to me. The most important endeavor of all. Perhaps you do not understand that, perhaps you do. I care not one whit. If you wish to leave, then stay here, and if we are successful, we will come back and we will take you back. If not, then you are free to marry and raise many little Kuranaji as much as you want. Here in the comfort of your new home and family.
I have no intention to do that either.
Well, then your options are pretty limited.
Oh, you would be surprised what my options might be.
You're in the middle of a desert.
For now.
Please cut the haughty bitch act. You are literally in the middle of a desert.
no.
You are either with us, with the Kuranaji, or you are on your own. Your chances are as such. I have been more than kind and accepting. I take your jobs. I only asked a favor to help with. You were free to say no. You knew that there might be more to this than first appeared. And now you complain and mule about it when the going gets tough. Ooh, I've got sand, I've been set upon by brigands, I've been captured. The local plant life is killing me.
Plant life.
Capri, your attempts to
I give you no offense.
shame or guilt me are clumsy at best. I am thoroughly unconvinced. First of all, I gain nothing
I leave.
by...
Well, there you go.
I said my piece.
You're all in the same tent.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, so you step outside. As you step outside, the, one of the,
Slams the flap on the way out.
one of the Kuranaji comes and says, "We have food if you would send your servant girl to get
I am
your
not-
fest."
Oh no.
I am not a servant.
Oh no. Oh no.
He looks confused.
Did you hear that, Sabine?
Food, please.
Oh, don't.
I didn't know you didn't want to live till morning.
Stay here. It'll be very entertaining.
Actually, you were outside the tent.
I was
So
gonna
you
go
step
to where
out
I
and you
saw
see, so that's what you have.
So it's
Towards
just,
the slaughter, I
Atlas
suppose.
and Anupam.
I have said my piece. Turn that loose.
I'm not there.
No, I stepped out. I'm
Oh,
with
I
you
see.
now.
Well, you see me walking towards where they're
You see his
butchering.
back, right, he's
Oh, okay.
walking toward, and you see that there's,
You can see Mukri out there.
Okay. So who was he talking to? Inside the tent or to me or to?
He came peeked his head.
He peeked his head.
yeah, as
Okay.
you went outside,
Oh,
he was
I
coming
passed
in.
him. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't know what the exact part of the scene was. I'll catch up.
So, I know that you most definitely are not going to want to do this.
I'm quite sure you're not making any appeal further for me going further into the desert to rescue Capri's sister after he insulted me repeatedly and called me a haughty bitch.
But they call you a hottie.
Wrong kind of hottie.
Oh, haughty.
Haughty.
I say.
It's a regional.
Yes.
It's a regional accent, I say.
I thought he was saying, "Man, you a hottie bitch. Damn, you fine."
Oh no.
It's different. It was a different dynamic.
Yeah, whole different.
Jocularity there.
Yeah.
I know you're not making any attempt to argue in his favor,
Oh,
as I would rather die at this point than do anything for Capri ever again.
Well then,
Anupam, make an insight roll.
we'll do. That is a 23.
Good, because I told you to make it.
Yeah.
Well, from the little that you've observed, and maybe you're having a hard time articulating it because of your,
Right.
emotionally invested in this whole thing. But it does seem to be a kind of a brutal place for her to stay,
Oh, I get that.
on her own,
Mhm.
just as,
If you can allow
as
me.
you step over one of the heads that was chopped off.
Yeah, right.
If you roll into your tent.
If you can allow me just
They're on bikes.
one more appeal. Don't do it for him.
I won't.
However, I know that you don't want to stay here.
Not particularly, but it is preferable to having my skin ripped off my body.
Understandable.
Or speaking to Captain again.
Understandable. But I'll give you. I'll say this. Our chances of success are better with you than without you.
How so? I bring nothing.
You bring medical expertise like nobody else in this group does. That's for sure.
If there's nothing to treat you with out there in the middle of nowhere, there's not much I can do.
And-
Once Capri gets you half killed, you'll just die.
And you are quite skilled at subterfuge.
Yes, but the sand is rarely entertained by my lies.
Fair enough. But I'll offer you this. I know that. I'll be honest. When have I never been?
No, Bob.
Yeah.
You asked a question.
Okay, so I know that I know that there's a reason, well, there's really no reason for you to want to go because, according to your own words, you have nothing to gain from this.
Yes, that's correct. I have been
But
extremely nice thus far, even coming onto this excursion.
I agree. I think you have been.
Especially since I am not getting, nor do I wish to get any of the wealth that will come out of it. I have no desire to be in the silk business.
That's fair.
I'll take your
So,
share.
but you do want to eventually return to Madashar, yes?
I have the plan to do so.
Fair enough.
It does not have to be with Kepri.
Okay. How about this? I will owe you whatever you want. Any type of favor that you want. 3 favors, why not? Let's call it that.
I don't see what the good of favor is if I'm dead and cannot collect on it.
Well, if we're all going together, the chances of you dying are very, very slim.
I think the chances of us dying in this desert are great.
I disagree.
I think you're far too optimistic.
I think you're far too pessimistic.
It's possible. But it has kept me alive so far.
Fair enough.
And that is my main concern.
Well, as you can see, I'm overly optimistic about a lot of things, and I am not dead yet either.
Yes, but you very nearly were, if you'll recall.
Yes, and you were the one who came there to heal me, so... You see, that just further illustrates my point. We need you there.
Can we get a separate tent?
I will
Suddenly not
consider
enjoying
your
it as much.
argument.
What did you say?
I will consider your argument.
Can I say one last thing?
Yes.
I don't want to go in there without you.
I will consider your argument.
That's all I can ask.
You stride towards the this gathering of Carnagian tribesmen who have butchered a steer of some sort, and you see that they are they're in the process of these are not warriors. These are like drovers. You know, these are like people support people. Although Mukreen is
Slaves are probably right.
they don't only keep slaves because of the lifestyle doesn't permit it. It's
Hard to keep a
it's
slave.
hard to keep a slave, right? Because you got to feed them.
Yeah.
You know.
You read the chat?
I read that.
What did the chat say? I mean, no, just share it. Sure,
Oh,
you
yeah.
talk. People can say.
Tell her you love her.
Yeah.
That's why I asked for a separate tent. It's getting a little uncomfortable in here.
So,
That's what we were laughing like 5 minutes ago. That was pretty good.
was that Bob?
Of course it was.
Sorry, shut up,
Sage
Bob.
Bob himself.
You see that they are removing what looks like the entrails and innards. The
Sausage.
material.
Yeah, sausage.
right, and they're putting it in sacks, and they're and the somebody else.
For trade.
Somebody else has taken the yummy parts of the cow and they're moving it over towards where the yummy part preparation part is. But they're throwing all this sort of all this glop and gristle and
Right.
you
Cook
know,
it down into some
and they and so they're gonna and you see they take it over to where camels are.
Oh, they feed the camels and trains. What kind of camels are these?
Hungry
camels.
I mean, Green is there and he's inhaling this clay pipe. You are stretching your legs, friend.
It was a good night for a walk.
We are preparing. We are preparing things to bring to the El Mazdari for information.
It would be worth making an appointment with the Sultan. Because we think that we can make the offer that we had talked about.
I will bring
There's
you
one
to see him.
unconvinced, but hopefully by the time I get back to the tent, that conversation will be completed. But Kepri is very good in the desert, and he understands the ways even of the sands that you speak of.
I wish him well. It would be very beneficial and of great joy to Erjabani the Magnificent to see the return of his granddaughter. And he starts coming back. You encounter them. Kepri, as you kind of turn, you see Kepri is walking in your direction.
I have a question. Speaking of returns, have you had success with returns here? Quietly, not where other people hear.
Many years ago, I found myself imprisoned by the satrap of Tibetanna. I was tortured, burned, my legs broken, and it was there as I contemplated my fate and my participation in the game that I met Erjabani the Magnificent. He spoke the words of the four prophets to me, talked to me of resisting our captors, and I have given him my loyalty, while, of course, allowing the world to remain the world. But I have found a home here among the Karanaji. They have accepted me. I married the sheikh of my steppes. I married the daughter of this sheikh of my steppes. And when he fell in battle, I was elevated to their sheikh.
Congratulations are in order then.
It is a difficult life, but a purposeful one. And I find myself in a position to perhaps perform some service on occasion.
It's good to hear. Family and hereditary connections and heredity are important.
We come from where we come from.
Yes.
And he takes you into the tent and
Kepri will be here in a moment, I saw.
actually no, I'm sorry. Kepri comes up to you. You're there.
Right.
This is
I just
when
wanted to have that conversation out of the way before
Yes,
we got there.
yeah. Takes me a moment to stomp over.
Right, you were coming, and you see that they had been
See the sand is
separating.
around.
They've been separating the prime cuts from this slaughtered oxen with the stuff that would fall on the lungs,
I see it
the
didn't go well.
wings. Are you a lung man? You're like the esophagus, Hendry.
Let's first put it this way. I am glad that I have left that tent.
He's got a kind of. He looks pissed.
Oh yeah.
I am glad I
Kicking
have.
sand up as he walked.
I am glad I have left that tent, as I can guarantee that either myself, Sabine, or Anupam would probably be one or multiple of us would be dead if that continued.
We fight like siblings around here, don't we?
No, I have fought with my sibling. Something I wish to do again one day. I did not dare think of cleaving my sibling in
Wait a
twain.
minute, did you try and convince him?
No, I made my case.
Oh
See,
no.
that's where you fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to do?
You don't have the demeanor for dealing with Sabine like that.
I don't. If she dies in the desert, that is. I will ensure that it will not be through my hand that happens.
You need to allow that anger. Perhaps do some of the sitting sleep that Anupam does and allow yourself
Why would I do that when
some
I can sleep?
calmness. Or some sleep for calmness.
I am plenty calm. Am I not the face of calm?
Sabine is difficult, of course.
That is like saying that the erg is dry and full of sand.
But Sabine she cares for us in her way. Only someone inside can understand it, but it's there.
I feel as if I do not know how long, if ever, that will trust or care will be there. I feel
She trusts you.
Oh, I'm
she
sure.
She can't admit it.
Oh, I'm sure.
And you trust her, and you can't admit it.
Oh, I can admit it freely, except for the time.
So admit it. Let me hear it.
Hear what?
That you trust her.
Trust her with what? What are you talking about? Are we ready to leave or not? Will we be ready to leave or not?
We have to speak with the Sultan. Don't go now. He's going to make arrangements for the conversation. I don't want anyone in the state you're in to speak with anyone of importance around here.
What are you implying? I am as calm as the. I'm as
You're
calm.
as the sandstorm and the tempest. And
Exactly. Don't you know in the middle of the sandstorm there is a place of perfect calm? Have you ever been in a sandstorm?
You're like a desert devil spinning through the sand, throwing things everywhere.
Have you ever been in a sandstorm?
I'm about to go in one, I think.
So the answer is no. Then I am calm as the middle of a sandstorm.
You should sleep and let Anupam continue. He will convince her.
I'm sure he will.
Are you heading towards the?
Yeah,
You with Captain?
Well, yeah, I'll let him know. Thank you for your time, and if you can let us know when the Sultan would be ready to speak.
I was going to take you
Now?
to him now.
Then let's go now. You should get some sleep, perhaps. When we get by the tent, let me have Atlas come out. The two of us will go speak with the Sultan.
No, I will speak with him. I will speak with him.
Yourself at the moment.
And
you don't know the.
I will.
You don't wish to go in the tent.
I do not, but that is neither here nor there.
This girl that you speak of abandoning here, she will bring a very good price. If I
We're
may.
not abandoning you.
Forgive me, I misunderstood. But if you do, I would like the opportunity to offer you a good price for her. She's an excellent dancer. She cooks.
I actually don't know if she could.
Oh, she'll cook food for him.
This isn't so much.
course.
This isn't so much buying a car that's a lemon. It's buying a car that has a car bomb from a mob boss. The car bomb never went off, and it's still there.
And he
No, she is sometimes difficult, but she's like a sister to us. A very angry sister sometimes, but a sister.
I understand.
Strong-willed.
He takes you back to Jabani's tent, and you can see it's much more quiet in there. And in fact, all of the tapestries have been lowered to sort of section it off, and he comes out dressed much more simply, and does anybody here speak Kuranaji? Okay. And Mukrin says, "Great Sultan, these outliers have an interesting idea, something that may be of assistance to the Kuranaji, and in particular, something that may bring joy to Jabani the Magnificent. Will you hear them out? What is it that you wish to say to me, strangers?"
Capri's sister is of great importance to her, and in looking for assistance from you, we would like to offer to assist you in a similar way that then you could assist us in retrieving someone of great value to yourself.
And he shoots Mukrin a look.
who bows at him and says, "We were discussing the storms of Eramal and the deep Erg, Sultan.
If I may, Honorable Jamani, do not look harshly upon your man. It was when I spied you and I made my flub. I saw a similar sadness in your eyes to my situation, and that is how I knew. I too know what it is like to lose someone close. My sister and I were inseparable as children, and to hear, it brought me the greatest joy to know that I would see her again, only to have it snatched away, and I set off almost immediately, as I'm sure you have done everything in your power to retrieve your granddaughter.
The backless worm, Karuna Bey, maintains a spy here amongst the tribes, and we caught him out. His name is Aram. Well, the name that he was known to us by. And it was he who convinced my granddaughter to accompany him on an innocent ride, which brought her deep into the desert and without us. He will die if we ever find him.
His death is not the most important, though. The most important is the retrieval. And Kepri is particularly well suited to traveling the deep desert.
The Kuranaji were afraid to go in because of the breath of Eramal.
A respect to be shown to the Erg.
Well, less the breath of Eramal and Eramal itself.
Indeed, I have only experienced Eramal's presence once, and it was not a pleasant one, to be sure. I understand your men's respect and fear for the deep Erg. That is why I and my companions are willing to go in and see if we can retrieve your granddaughter.
We have gone. Sheikh Mukrin approached the Erthalibu Mazdari, who denied taking my granddaughter.
Do you believe them to be truthful?
They are dogs, but they are dogs who must eat, and they will eat the cast-offs and entrails that we have given them, in addition to the discipline when they fall into our hands. I have no reason to believe that they'd be lying, other than there is nothing in this instance for them to be gained by lying. If they had taken the girl, it would have been bragged about and boasted of.
Indeed, the granddaughter of Jabani is quite the boast to make. Do you believe the
Is it?
What?
It comes with penalty of death at the hands of
Yes,
the
but
Jaban.
yes, but it is still a great boast to make, to say that you have stolen away one such as she.
They may be afraid. Matter of fact, they may be stuck with her, not realizing that it would be better to hand her back, but be afraid to do so, understanding that they're in a precarious position for a terrible thing for a terrible mistake,
Perhaps.
possibly.
What we seek, simply put, is your assistance in retrieving my dear sister, and in return we will do what we can, venturing into the deep Erg to retrieve your granddaughter.
If the Ermazdari have your sister, Mukrin is prepared to offer them foodstuffs. What did you bring with you, by the way? You brought the wagon with you, right?
Yes.
What was on the wagon?
The stuff we got from the
Water.
Water.
It was survival things.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
So, but water. Well, water's definitely a tradable commodity in the middle of the desert.
Enough for a good bit. Can't pretty make sure to load that thing. That is, is this idea, is this plan amenable to El Jabani?
It is. If you can retrieve my granddaughter when the Kuronaji tribesmen who served me were too afraid to, you would have my gratitude.
Does your granddaughter have a name?
Tanin.
Ani.
And a description.
Of course.
There are other women and girls in the desert.
You don't say.
You will know her. She is a prize. She's a flower of great prize. He describes her as described his granddaughter.
Don't, dude, don't.
Kepri's going, no.
And he looks at you and he
I'm
says,
not there.
Oh,
I'm just thinking he's going, no. He's stuck in the tent while I'm still trying to.
He's in the corner.
Yeah, he's in the corner.
Of the round tent.
I'm
He found a corner.
He found the corner.
I'm pulling the skins up over me. Okay, I'm going this way.
Then the Kuranaji, as I have had my dealings with them, are a fierce yet honorable people. A word, as we have no doubt seen through your merciful acts toward your men. You value sincerity above as a high trait, do you not?
truth is the only path.
Do you have a dagger upon you?
I do.
May I borrow it? I'll be careful.
We only have us to do things like that.
Only Sabine would give you a poison dagger.
I am about to do the thing. Then to show you my sincerity, El Jabani, I takes it there, cuts it. As my blood drips on the sand and nourishes the herb, know this, that if you will assist me in retrieving that, my lotus to your desert rose, I will ensure that either I return with your granddaughter, or I do not return, or I return in bones. I give up my hand.
I accept your offer with gratitude.
You do me great, you do me great honor, and I shall do you great honor. I either return with our
Your blood drips through your hand onto the ground of the tent.
This is the equivalent of going all in.
With this or on this?
It's Arslan and Kepri are there. Oh, I thought you were going to get Iolus.
We were, but
You opted against.
he took us directly.
Okay,
It's not
yeah,
the same
right.
way.
Though, do not penalize my companions should I not succeed. This is my blood debt and my blood debt alone. It is to show my commitment to this cause and to the safe return of our respective kin. This I ask you, kind and merciful.
I gratefully accept your promise and your pledge.
Let it be known.
Good luck, my friends.
Wow.
Let's take a short break for nature,
Sure.
and I'll be right back.
All right.
To be continued. We'll wrap things up.
Thanks for joining us. Had to take a quick break. We left Arslan and Kepri with finishing up with Sultan Sharif Mulay of the Karnaji, and that leaves it was Sabine, Anupam, and Atlas inside in the tent. Actually, also, well, yeah.
I'm learning about diplomacy.
Sabine is just lying there thinking.
Kind words.
I said I would consider.
And Manetho, who is Manetho, the captain of the caravan guard, comes up to you and says, "May I have a word with you, mistress?"
I suppose.
I know we did not begin our association under the most cordial terms. I am, like Master Kepri, extremely upset at the loss of our mistress, the Lady Ozira.
I do understand that.
Her loss is not just a personal shame, but it would represent the end of the house. I'm sure that Master Kepri is speaking completely out of emotion. His reason must be given some tolerable amount of latitude.
I am aware that he's upset, but he also speaks what he feels.
It is a trait of the men of Kemet to do so. These men here, although they are honorable after a fashion, it may not be a place that you wish to find yourself for an extended period of time without the protection of your compatriots.
I am aware of the possible dangers to me that these men might represent, and I have certainly experienced such dangers before. I do know how to thrive in such a situation. It's just a matter of being flexible.
The tree that bends survives, that which is rigid breaks in stones.
Exactly.
We understand each other.
I do try to be flexible. There are certain things, though, that are hard to be flexible about.
Words are like sand. There are many of them. If you do not like them, you can find others.
It's true, but when do those words tell us someone's true sentiments?
Words spoken in anger perhaps reflect
A facet of one's feelings.
in that moment. What did you go after? Or actually, Anupam, what are you in Atlas doing?
I was resting.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty much just resting inside the tent while she thought things over.
Right.
I'm trying not to get in trouble. So I'm saying that.
Yes.
He's remaining as a table.
Seeing an execution earlier in the day,
There's no nice comfy cell.
Kepri and Arslan, what do you do?
I'm currently bandaging up my wound now.
Yeah, I'll take my knife.
So so after leaving, what do you do?
We should go let the others know and find out how the conversation went after you left.
That is
Do
probably
you want me to find that out? You can wait outside if you'd like.
I
Up
will.
to you.
I will wait outside and I will sleep under the stars tonight. Perhaps the desert air will clear my head. I do hope my display of devotion was convincing enough. I do hope we can retrieve his granddaughter. Not
Me too.
not only for my the sake of my life, but obviously to help us out. I do not make such, though I boast, I do not make such commitments lightly, and I mean every word. Every word I said in that tent, as surely as my blood lays now on the floor.
What were you doing with your knife?
Taking it back and cleaning it off and putting it back in its sheath.
Oh, right. Oh, from him.
Yeah.
His blood.
Thank you for indulging in my bit of theatricality.
I think sometimes you go over the top.
Perhaps.
No, I think every time you go over the top. I can't think of a time when you have not, so I'm going to just actually assume the other way, that you always go over the top.
Would you believe I was a quiet child?
I would not believe that in the least.
Then I have some land in the earth to sell you. I will stay nearby to hear the conversation, but I will sleep with the stars while I await the solar barge to make its appearance.
Whatever that means.
The sun. The sun.
The sun?
The sun.
What's that got to do with the bars?
He's gonna go outside and.
I will explain to you.
I don't know his religion.
I will explain to you everything about Kemet's glorious religion some other time. Right now, I must go nurse my honor wound and dream of dreams yet undreamt.
Enjoy the sleep. And I'll head into the tent.
I will take a position under this little palm tree.
And nurse your honor wound
I will.
under the palm tree.
That's not your honor wound.
Your Honor, my honor. Let it be known I symbolically
I walk into the
damage.
tense mist.
It's probably dissipated somewhat. You know, since
Yeah, well, I mean,
Right, got
How are things in here?
Fine, now that Capri's gone.
He's sleeping under the stars tonight.
That's a good place for him.
That's probably a very
He
good idea.
understands. He does mean well. And I think that he speaks the way he does out of an odd sort of care and concern, even for you.
His care and concern is for his sister. He doesn't care if
not
every
one for
one
his
of us
sister.
dies in the process of
He
retreat.
does.
Perhaps he cares if you die in the process.
He
Or
cares
Adam.
about all of us. He works hard to make sure that we all survive and that we all make it through this. We did make a commitment to come and help.
Yes, I'm still wondering why I did that.
You know,
Not really.
we're like family here. We're like the only family we all have. That's why we fight the way we do.
You make assumptions. You are not like family to me. And you would not be the only family I had.
Well, we've all come from family at
Yes.
one point in some way. Are you awake, Atlas?
He's hiding. He
In
doesn't
plain
want to
sight.
get.
I don't blame him.
He doesn't want to get involved.
Mommy and Daddy are fighting the other way.
Well, however it goes tomorrow, we have made a commitment to retrieve the granddaughter. Feel free to do the way you wish. I think you would be an asset, but I don't go around trying to convince everyone. I leave that to Anupam most of the time.
I have said that I will consider.
Okay.
Adipov has offered me something of great value in exchange.
He has nothing of great value.
Oh, but he does. And he has offered it.
I said
You've never been with a woman?
Wait, what? Wait. See, I was trying to be all cool about it until you said that. I'm like, wait, what?
Wait, do you actually say
Huh?
Did you say that? Did you say that?
Yeah, playfully. You know, like,
And why would you assume that would be of great value to me?
I mean, to be fair.
Shwiggity shwoogity.
it was just playful.
Right.
I have never understood the great value that people place in the supposed purity of the body.
I actually agree with you there.
But no, that is not what he has offered. He has offered something of far greater value. And as such, I will consider that trade.
Sometimes you are more interesting than you appear to be on the outside.
She's a collector of favors.
Well, of course, that's her most powerful asset and trait.
I'm not sure if I should be insulted by that.
Within our
statement or
friend,
not.
within our
Backhand
group.
compliment.
Well, with that, I'm going to take out a little brazier for some incense, and I'm going to begin some meditation.
Man, he's gonna get incense all over the tent.
Give us the tent. They're like, oh, it stinks.
I'm assuming
Yes.
it's like a larger tent than they like.
Yes.
Smells like Rakshasa incense.
Yeah,
Nog Champa.
I happen to like the smell of incense, but there are those that do not.
I mean, it's different types of incense.
Sure,
To be fair.
I like Nog Champa,
Yeah, well, there you go.
but you know.
I am not burning on Champa. I'm sorry.
Well,
It's alright.
I'll go sleep under the stars also.
Join me. We can share body heat.
He blesses the trap.
Yeah.
And I'll be back shortly. We should all get some rest. And I'll go see Mookri one more time.
Okay.
Wherever I'll find them.
They're actually loading up those camels with these sacks filled with the heart, entrails, kidneys, lungs,
Awesome.
Delicious.
viscera.
A better tribe has to eat.
Right.
I know so not loading it up with water though.
Right.
Probably not. Maybe a little. Maybe a barrel.
They probably have some sacks of water, but you guys have water too.
That's our ace in the hole. Yeah, but we gotta keep
One
good.
additional concern that I have is that Kempri's sister was traveling with wares that we needed for use in Batishar. It would be worth losing a little to you to get the remainder back.
I see.
I would not like to lose it all to the tribe that took the sister. They should not walk away with these values.
Agreed. When we arrive in the land of the Ermazdari, we will see. I suspect that they will not have. They will be looking to trade if they have something. They have no use for trinkets that they cannot dispose of.
How many of them are there?
Several hundred, but they are not all in one place. And the stirps of the fox is several dozen. He has one of the largest stirps, but they are also motivated by a want of food and water, such as we will provide. Such as we already provide.
Yes. I would just like to make sure that the wares, if possible, also arrive back. And we'd be willing to offer some in exchange to make sure that it returns.
We will speak with Ertelibu
and he is greedy and a mercenary and a brigand of the highest order. And so, if there is
Excellent, we
something,
can understand how to deal with that.
if there is something to sell, he will sell it. Something or someone. If your friend's sister is with them, all to the better.
I'll not say what I was thinking. Okay. Thank you. We'll speak again tomorrow.
Good night.
I'll head back.
I go sit next to Anupam. Austin brought up a good point.
About,
What are the rules of your order?
you mean when it comes to... I mean, it's not expressly forbidden or anything. It's,
Oh, good. So if one of the favors I would ask you were to make use of you in that way, not for myself, but for someone else,
That's a great way of putting that.
I would like to. I would like to know how I could deploy these favors. Is there anything that would be expressly forbidden for me to ask?
no.
Damn,
not,
she's pimping you out.
not.
She didn't say for her.
Not expressly forbidden.
Oh, good.
No.
So these favors are essentially unlimited. Anything I ask within the perimeter of 3 favors.
As long as you're not asking me to kill somebody who doesn't deserve it.
Oh no, see, that is a problem.
I did say doesn't deserve it.
So you would merely need to be convinced that they deserved it.
Pretty much.
Very good, thank you.
Oh, what have I done? I'm gonna have a very hard time going back to meditating now.
More incense, more
Maybe
incense.
yes.
I take some of that vetiver oil and just turn it in
Right.
there. Like, come on. Work your magic, come on.
Start drinking it. Any final business from individuals that you want to discuss tonight? I know Sabine is. I have to move this chair where I keep sliding.
Drifting ever further into the earth.
Twirling, ever twirling.
Into the earth.
Right. Like some entrail eating Irmazdari. Go suck on a lung. And so Sabine is ruminating over how much control of Anupam she'll have if she gives the
Exactly
gives
what
in.
these 3 favors will be worth.
Kepri is
You're like a genie. You gave her 3
sleeping
wishes.
under
I will
She didn't
a
have to rub
fitful
the pot.
sleep.
Then he would have owed her a favor.
Atlas.
Or,
I mean, what I-
yes, another favor.
I mean, that's fair.
He rubs the pot.
There we go. We had a mic cable caught on the chair.
Oh no.
And Arslan, you?
I head back to the tent.
Okay.
I just needed to secure the wares.
You get there
as
and
much as possible, too.
you see Atlas sleeping with one eye open. Sabine is like deep in thought.
She has a wicked smile on her face.
Anupam is trying to meditate, but is like a wreck. He's like, trying to set up their incense.
I just put my hand on his shoulder and I go lay down in the bedroll.
What have I done?
Sleep.
The next morning, you leave early, and you see that there are your camels and the wagon and the camels and
I got the chuck wagon.
and mules of the Kuranaji are prepared, and the Mukreen and about 24 tribesmen together ride out and head into the Erd.
After about an hour, the sun comes up. Everybody make a survival roll.
Not yet.
Come on. That is a fat 7.
Nice.
9.
11.
9's not a natural 1.
Hey, you're right, it's not.
Did you get a natural 1? Oh.
You rolled a critical miss? Oh my god.
No. The hyena man is still coming back at you.
This anymore. It's just a natural 1. We don't think of it as so negative.
I try not to think of it as a horrible failure.
It's still pretty bad, though.
Don't think of it as a horrible failure. Think
That
of it
lamb just didn't
A
go
new
down.
opportunity to fail forward.
Right.
That's right.
Think of it as a learning experience.
Yeah.
You've learned that ones are bad.
So
That lamb
you,
didn't set so well.
oh god. Okay, so let's roll. Let's see.
Oh yeah, just
So who failed their survival roll?
What was the DC?
Oh, well.
Was it like a 10 yet?
I think
10 or
honestly-
better?
No, it was a good one. Okay, so that's not that bad.
was my 11 the highest?
Is that what, so somebody rolled an 11
Yeah.
and everybody else rolled lower
I
than
rolled
11?
7.
7?
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 6 after re-rolling with luck.
Okay. And what'd you roll?
A 9.
Nice. Alright, so everybody
Oh,
failed.
the lamb was bad.
Lamb and emotional turmoil do not go together.
I didn't have any of the lamb. I was like, but I didn't eat any of the salmon mousse.
It's just emotional
You're having emotional turmoil.
sandwich.
Right. Yes.
So,
It's all the regret that's getting to me right now.
We're just thinking, my God, 3 favors, what have I done?
Anna Palm, hold my hair. Favor 1.
This definitely counts.
Wonderful. When I asked you to help, I did not mean for you to sell your life away.
Oh, it will not behold my hair.
Oh.
Be a far greater favor. A far larger, far bigger thing I asked.
I don't know anything about the favors.
I want to put my jewelry while I get into punching position.
okay. What you rolled a 1, right? Okay. So as you're riding deeper into the earth, in the distance, in the far distance, you hear and presently you see these sands blowing over the top of the crest of a large sand dune, and a couple of the riders with Mukreen look concerned, and about 20 minutes later, a full-blown storm kind of erupts out of nowhere. Actually, probably more like 5 minutes later after you hear that. And he says, "Everyone, let us take cover for a moment until this passes." He doesn't say for a moment, he says, "Let us take cover until this passes."
I take,
Kefri puts up his.
I do take out a weapon. I draw mine.
Okay.
I have a weapon drawer.
Kefri puts up his. Kefri puts holes down the turban. Make sure no.
Yeah, I'm
pull it up
like head to toe
Same thing.
decked
Okay.
out in clothing. Yeah.
And
Gets low.
I take the same. No.
Come at me, bro.
Fear is a mind killer. I will let it pass through me.
And as the sand whips up with this really sort of disturbing howling, everybody takes 2 points of damage. And Atlas, he begins to start choking uncontrollably. What's your con?
So your con modifier is what?
3.
Okay. So you can hold your breath.
4 minutes.
Yep.
Can I make a perception to...
But you're choking, so it makes it kind of a moot point, actually.
Can I make a perception to see Atlas in his state?
Yes.
To the sand?
Yes.
To see if I can go assist him by draping part of my robe over him to give him basically a breathing space.
Go ahead.
Sorry that you're gonna get that part of the robe.
Death.
At 20.
Natural 20.
Oh,
sure.
Nicely done.
To
So,
offset that natural one.
Yeah, of course.
Hey.
so you see that he
The way
seems
it
to be
counts.
distressed and he's choking, and presently he falls off of his camel.
No, I'm on.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we all.
You're right, that's right, you got off, that's right, you got off.
I'm in the wagon. I'm driving the.
I stand up and make my way over to him, just trudging through the sand as best I can to get to him, and I drape my cloak over him. Breathe through this. Let it out. That's it. Don't.
And because you have some assistance, I'm going to say that you do not choke to death.
That's nice.
Oh, did this become a lethal campaign just now?
Oh,
Oh.
TK to the desert. Desert's done its people.
What did we do? What have we done?
Only what we
Hashtag always listen to Sabine.
And the storm passes in about an hour.
shakes off. Sand.
Let us proceed, my friends. We still have quite a distance to travel.
Let's get back on
We are going to die here.
our camels
No,
all
we
dead.
won't.
Getting
Don't make
torn
sure
off.
of that.
No.
No.
I will make
We'll get on
sure
our
those
camels.
favors are worth this.
So I'm gonna
Yes,
gather
I
a
know.
little bit. I'm gonna have a little bit of something.
There's a
So
lot to
when
meditate about,
something
I
whips
see.
up again,
Yes,
I can put
yes,
it out
I
of my
do.
face.
Right.
Preparing.
You will know when it comes. That was a nicer one.
Maybe put some cloth and some water or something. Put it over my face.
Sometimes the water is not available. Urine also works.
I've got a whole wagon full of water.
You have it right now.
Okay, I'll remember now.
Just take care. I intend to see you all through this. Even so.
We have not far, much farther to travel. This is after about another hour, thank God, where the lands are they're all very inhospitable, but it's a lot of rock and hard terrain where you're at.
Better than sand.
Your water will come in very handy. And not long after he says that, you see about a dozen figures approaching over the top of over a cresting ridge of rocks, and they are tribesmen dressed similarly, but not nearly as well kept as the Cormac. Well, as the Jamali and others.
Here they come.
Indeed, this is them. Leave the, or possible leave the speaking to Kuranaji. My dealings with Lazadori are less and less pleasant on the one and two occasions.
They will know of you or tell you.
Not these ones.
It doesn't matter that much.
These are the same people who are the followers of this fox person, yes.
It is possible.
Do you think that they'll know that we killed some of their brethren?
I don't see how they would know.
Well, that's good.
Doubtful.
We do not mention it.
Well, of course not.
Under the right circumstances, it may be the right thing to do,
Plus,
but not now.
Yeah, definitely not now. Yes. But I think I know exactly what you mean when you say that.
Sheikh Mukrin tells one of his riders to go forward and let them know that Sheikh Mukrin of the Erfazari wishes to treat with them, and he has brought food and water. Let them know it is better than the muddy brown swill that they must dig from the rocks. He should. You don't have to give it all to them. Just something. Well, perhaps you will leave
One barrel, perhaps.
Yes. It is a bargaining tool.
of course.
And we will let them have. We will give, and we will provide them with the offal that we have brought.
I saw you preparing it last night.
The Sultan will not allow us to. Will not give them the choicest cuts of the beef, only the offal. And one of his riders goes, and you see he makes his way up a sort of narrow path on the camel, and a couple of riders come out from the other side, and they entreat with each other for a few minutes, and then the rider comes back. They will see you, Sheikh. They say that we may approach, and that their Sheikh is here as well.
Negotiations can happen today. No more
Which
waiting.
would imply the fox. And Taliti.
I am curious to see this fox.
Me too.
As am I.
Are we to go with, or should we wait back until called upon?
Let us go.
Tell me, do your people eat hyena men? Are there people that eat hyena men? I've heard that people eat hyena men out here.
I have not heard of it prepared as a delicacy, but I am certain that it has happened. These, you would be better asking the
I was
Al-Mazdari.
wondering if anybody that I had heard that there are people out here who do it, and
I know at least two.
Everything eats everything.
Didn't say it was a cultural delicacy. I said it was a food of last resort. And do not give up water in the desert, even if the water comes from hyena milk. I'm gonna know anything about that.
Just need some more spices.
It does. You just need to drown out the mange.
it needs to cook low and slow. Gotta tenderize that crab.
That was the problem, sure.
Yes.
Cook too fast.
Yeah. We can make a stew out of it.
And then feed it to the dogs. I'll throw it up. It'll be tenderized enough that you guys can eat it again.
Yeah, no.
Like a stew version of Kopi Luwak.
Continue riding.
And you crest the ridge, and you find an encampment, abandoned encampment.
No oasis.
They're moving. This is a
Nomadic.
This is a nomadic encampment. Right? They're not in that kind of way, so they probably stopped for the night. Mukrin, enjoying the erg air this morning, says this big, strapping but heavily scarred tribesman comes out. He's got a long sword on his back, and he's accompanied by about a half dozen tribesmen. I mean, there's about 30 of them all together. These people are under the protection of Jabani the Magnificent. We have brought you something to request information. Perhaps something fell into your hands that you are not
so inclined to keep if there is something easier for you to claim. And some of the men get off their camels and they pull out these. They pull down the meat that was cut, and they open up a couple of the wrappers and show them. What are you looking for? There was a woman that was taken. A caravan. How long ago?
2 nights hence, as the hawk flies.
How long ago?
Was it?
Three?
No,
No, when the caravan was taken.
Yeah.
It was
that
like a week
it was a
ago.
week.
Yeah,
More than
yeah,
a week ago.
A week and a moon, as the hawk flies.
And he looks at his men and he, a moment! And he steps back and some more of his men come up. They have spears, bows and arrows, mostly primitive.
But when you said that insight roll, was there a look of?
Make an insight
I
roll.
was gonna say, can I
Go for it.
You know what? I want that too.
I'll even make that one.
It is your idea, but I also am.
that was 14.
19.
19 and 21? You don't detect any recognition.
No ocean.
Yeah. Like, no, you don't.
They want that.
He goes off a slight distance and talks and they have a conversation.
Are they speaking?
They're a ways off, you probably can't hear.
I don't have to hear them, but if I know the language they're speaking, I can see their.
Oh.
I can read their lips.
You can't. It's.
Their backs are to you or something.
What's that?
Their backs are to you or
Yeah,
something.
they're not right there. They walked off into sort of a huddle.
What do you mean? The fish is not cooked right. Doesn't make any sense.
Alright. And El Talibu comes back and he says, "How much of those princely cuts of meat have you brought us? And water. How much water?"
How many barrels do we have? 8 or 10?
We had 10.
We brought them a full barrel. Completely full.
Let's see.
A barrel.
We have brought you the usual offal that your people consume, which is better than eating the sands. And these men have brought you these
We have brought
strangers have brought.
two barrels of the sweetest water that your lips have ever tasted. I can guarantee this.
For information only.
What's that?
2 for information only.
We have 10. They don't know that.
Now we have 8.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't have 8 yet.
Let us see the food and let us see the water.
Don't let them see the cart.
I'm not.
We'll get the barrels rolled over. Yeah. I want them to see that we have 8 more. Should have only got 1.
Forgive me for making sure he's trying to seal the deal.
Well, let's beam do the negotiations.
You're all acting like I've given away everything. It's 2 barrels.
I know.
Jeez.
We
Have a little faith, Marston.
We will remember that when there's no more water left and we could have had
We die 1 week out from Vanishar. Or 1 day out.
Well, the good news is by that point, you won't remember much.
So, how do they
We'll roll 2
receive
barrels
the-
over.
the gift?
They receive it and they're very. I mean,
Accepting of it.
they're very accepting of it. Correct. I mean, they don't invite you to, to
join them. But,
We don't want to. We don't want to eat the awful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Kidney. Have a vertebrae. 10 days ago, we saw several dozen people herding a group of 6, maybe 7 camels. They were traveling deep into the Erg, where the storms of El Ramal are fierce.
How big was the group?
6 to 7%.
No, that
Oh,
was
they mean.
that was the.
Of what size was the group? Are they
It appeared to be a large party.
known to you? And your kind, your ilk?
Those who saw them pass say they were not of the Mazdari, but there are some who dwell within the Erg deeper that are not part of our that are not of our number. They took her to where Ramal dwells.
Looks like we get 2 for 1.
And we have to do all the work.
It's the way it works, isn't it? You say you saw this 10 days ago?
It was late at night, and it was at a distance. But there had seemed to have been, they had perhaps some prisoners with them.
Can we see like some of their group? Do they have any silks or anything that look like maybe from Kemet? Like they could be lying and maybe have.
But
Earth Dalibu is wearing the crown of Lower Keeman on his
Oh.
head, but other than that,
okay, then
nothing suspicious looking here.
didn't he say something?
Double sticks.
Yeah.
Good to see you here.
See,
I was gonna say, can I actually make an insight roll? See
Yeah.
if he's on a level here. Come on.
They did say
15.
something along the lines of if they can't use it,
he appears to be on the level.
Yeah, of course.
if they can't
Yeah.
use it, they don't
Such a
really
trustworthy guy.
Yeah.
hold it. Like, what are you gonna do with a bunch of silk? I mean, you could they would trade it to the Kuranaji for snouts and tails, but
If you wish, we will accompany you.
What's missing?
Make a survival roll, because that's a lot of sand you just hit. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Or to follow us.
saying anything. Neither option, please.
Mukrin?
The Kuranaji,
But that is probably the option.
the Kuranaji I trust.
He doesn't say anything.
I don't trust them either. They're going to follow us
They are going to follow.
to the extent that they feel they can.
The question is,
They probably try and take us before we get to the edge of where they feel safe. We need to be well armed and aware of our surroundings until we reach that point.
We have enough of us, Mukrin says. There are enough of us to protect ourselves. We do not need the likes of you to accompany us. Unless
Oh no.
Where we are going, no one would want to accompany us. Would you show us, please, the way the exact path that caravan took into the deep wastes of the demon?
and his one of his men comes over and sketches in the sand where you are vis-a-vis where they were, and kind of gives you a sense of how to get there.
Kepri memorizes every little grain of utility.
There's no detail.
Well, that's why he said every grain.
It's an excellent line.
Past the pillars. Continue to go past the pillars, and you will eventually encounter them. Or they you.
So it seems. You have my thanks for what it is worth for your information. Do we have any other questions?
You say you have come from. I shouldn't say that. You didn't say that. Come on.
No.
We have not.
You are not from the waste. Where are you from? Where do you come from? I see many, many faces. You are clearly. Actually, he doesn't say that.
Sorry, you didn't say any of that?
Yeah, he says, where are you people from? You are not from the Erg.
You said it yourself, we're not from here.
We are from far. Let us put it that way. Just travelers trying to make their way in the world. That's all. We have no other questions for them, do we?
Did we ask about what's his face's daughter?
No.
Definitely not.
Don't even know about that.
Definitely not.
Quiet, mumbling, mumble, 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 peas and carrots.
Let's
peas
be
and
on our way. We're losing daylight.
Indeed. Let us continue.
Good luck. May the four prophets guide you. Perhaps we will see you again on your return.
Nothing would please us greater than to see a friendly face in these most inhospitable lands you call home.
And they haul off the offal and the 2 barrels. And Mukreen says, and they disappear. Well, yeah. Mukreen says, we will, actually they don't disappear in their camp. Mukreen says, we will ride out. Hopefully they will take some time to enjoy the bounty that you have provided them.
Before they catch our trail.
I
Can
expect
we,
to see them again.
Can we outpace them and get into an area where they will not go?
Yeah, that's
With
the,
green.
would the sorry, I
No, it's not.
There is a very good chance that they will not care to follow you.
Good.
that's what I
But there's a
want.
very good chance they will care to wait for our return.
This cannot be denied.
They have similar superstitions, beliefs about the heart of the earth.
They do, but perhaps those who
Are less godly, are inclined to.
less godly behavior and they have fears, but they are also a source of them. Yes, we are not afraid of them, but it is good to be cautious.
Of course. Let us make tracks and then disappear.
Yes, onward to our deaths.
That's the spirit.
And that's actually a good place to stop for tonight.
Thank you,
The last
everybody.
word. Thank you very much,
Thank you,
everybody. We
guys.
appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bob, maybe next week Anupam will have some deep confessions to make. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Dear Penthouse Forum.